Ayer Zoning Board of Appeals, Wednesday, October 21st, 2015. This is an open session meeting. We need an approval of the agenda as posted. Somebody make a motion?
I motion to approve the agenda as posted.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The agenda is approved. First public hearing, application for finding and variance, John and Colleen Welsh, 113 Grant School Road. The Ayer ZBA will conduct a public hearing at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, October 21st, 2015 at the Ayer Town Hall located 1 Main Street, Ayer, Mass. 01432 regarding the application by John and Colleen Welsh, 113 Groton School Road, Ayer, Mass. Applicant seeks a finding per Ayer zoning bylaw 433D1, addition to a pre-existing non-conforming structure and a variance from section 3312C, conversion of a single family to a two-family dwelling. Advertised September 25th, 2015 and October 2nd, 2015 in the Neshoba Valley Voice. Anybody?
Good evening. My name is Kevin. I'm from David Ross Associates, and I represent the Welches. What they're proposing to do is they have a single-family house on the corner of Doug Drive and Groton School Road. They want to put in an in-law apartment for his mother. He's lived there. They've lived there. This will be the third generation living there. And what he's trying to do is he's trying to accommodate his mother. She's in her 60s. And they're trying to put an in-law apartment on the back of an existing dwelling. We went to the building inspector, and the building inspector said that we needed a finding from the Board of Appeals to have a two-family dwelling in this district is a by right. If you go into the use section of the bylaw, it's a by right. So he feels that because the addition or the in-law apartment would be in the exterior of the existing footprint of the house, we would need a finding from the Board of Appeals. We have a determination from the building inspector, and I think that was in the package of information I gave you. So he suggested we come here looking for a finding on that. In addition to that, the house is also a pre-existing non-conforming. The house was built prior to Doug Drive being constructed and approved by the town. So when Doug Drive went in, it created a violation of the existing house. The existing house was too close to Doug Drive. So we also need a variance from a pre-existing non-conforming structure, and we're making an addition to it. The addition will conform to the zoning setbacks. It will conform to the lot coverage. The lot as it exists today has enough frontage and area for a two-family house. So that's why we're here looking for a finding, and I believe we're looking for a variance as well. As the plot plan indicates, like I said, Douglas Drive was constructed after the house was built, so that created a violation. The addition, as you can see, is in the rear portion of the house. The house faces Groton School Road, and it'll be connected to the back of the house, and it'll provide an in-law for his mother. The lot contains just under 27,000 square feet. Like I said, it conforms to the frontage and area requirements for the town, and it conformed at the time it was created.
I'm trying to place this lot. You know where it is? Where it's not the blue one behind the house, the new two families being built, is it?
No.
The one with the police officer's car in it in the driveway for the year.
The state police.
The lawn, right?
No, I
Yeah, it is.
I'm still drawing a
Across the
blank.
street from
Every
the end of
time I
my
see it, I
road,
go,
you come to the end of my road, and it's right there across the street, as like a 30-degree,
Okay.
right across the street
Where
from
they
the end
just
of the
ran
Mandarin.
sewer line into the Groton house.
Okay.
Right.
I got it now. I'm too far down this
Yeah,
way.
it's just about right at the town line.
Exactly.
All
Do
right.
you abut it, John? You weren't notified via notice.
I don't believe I'm 300 feet.
Okay.
No, he's
All right,
the
I
other way.
just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
Now, in addition to some information that I provided to you, what I did recently is I also looked in the general vicinity of our property to see what existing two-family units are in the direct, or the vicinity or in that area of town. And surprisingly, there's probably about a half a dozen two-family units that are within the area of our locus. Those are the two families that are listed on the assessor's map as being a two-family unit. So it's consistent with the neighborhood. It's not going to be detrimental to the neighborhood. The house is not going to overpower the neighborhood by any stretch. Like I said, it conforms to the two-family lot area requirement and the coverage factor.
But it's not a two-family house.
Right now, it's not, but we're going to make it an in-law. And that's not actually a two-family, but it is, like I said, it's allowable by right in the use section of the bylaw.
I'm not entirely sure why it isn't just, why we need a grant permission. Then it wasn't missing. If
It's an A2,
if it's a permitted use.
it's a permitted use, but they want to put an addition on a non-conforming property.
Right.
So they need to get a variance for that.
But we've had these,
But those are inside the same, I know exactly what
We've
you're
had
talking
these
about. Now,
before.
those ones have been inside the same footprint. What they're gonna do
Yeah.
here is add on.
They're
to
making
the
it
house.
bigger. The last one we
so the
did,
footprint is
the
actually.
footprint's going to change.
Okay.
You're putting
An addition onto the back, it's roughly 24 by 20, by 29 feet.
yeah,
So it's not like you're making it less non-conforming, like some of the other.
no, what they do to it is not going to change the conformance. But the building inspector can't give a permit because it is non-conforming.
I thought I read that it would be less non-conforming because the setback will now be within the restrictions.
The setback will be within the restrictions for the addition. It doesn't change the footprint of the house. The house is still non-conforming.
Okay, I thought that 4 foot,
That's not
where
gonna
they talked
change.
about the 4 foot, I thought that was the part that was gonna be removed.
No.
Okay, so that doesn't change.
This is what, your addition is going back here. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So you'll have a setback of 16.7, but the 4.8 to 5.1 is not going to change.
Okay, then I
So
misread
that's the
that.
non-conforming part right there.
Right, and obviously, we're not increasing the nonconformity of any of it. We're not going closer to Douglas Drive, we're not creating any other zoning violations.
So it's just because it's already
It's not conforming,
non-conforming, but we've had those before too.
but yeah, but they didn't put addition on. We're talking about, you're talking about the one we just did, what, a week or two ago? Or
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was in existence. That was an apartment over the top of a garage. It didn't change, the footprint didn't change anything. The only thing we had to worry about was Title V. So that was all within the existing structure. The only thing we did there was allow them to go from single family to two family because that was a rental.
And in fact, nothing even changed because it had
No,
already been.
it had already been.
Right,
Right, 10 years earlier.
yeah.
So one of the things I would question is you're calling it an in-law apartment, but in actuality, it's not. You're changing it to a two-family structure.
Which is allowable by right in the district.
Right, so it's not an in-law apartment, you're changing it to a two-family structure.
Correct. And coincidentally, on all those other parcels or the lots that I highlighted, I ran the registry to see if there were any variances or zoning board of appeals decisions for any of those. And I couldn't find any, not saying that they weren't granted and just not recorded, but I couldn't find anything at the registry of deeds on that.
We just did one that was recorded.
Maybe not in that
Maybe
particular
you-
area.
Right, we're talking about in the
Oh,
neighborhood. Yeah.
his
Right,
area, no.
right.
no. So we have two issues. One of them is they want to put an addition on a pre-existing non-conforming property. All right, that's one thing. And the second thing is, they want to switch it from a single family to a two-family dwelling. So that's the questions that are on the table.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
last meeting, did we, it was confusing to me going over the materials, so we did not approve two-family structure at this last meeting, or did we?
Yes, we did.
All right, on the existing footprint.
It was on the existing footprint. There was no
So, okay, all right,
change to the
that's-
structure.
all right,
Yeah.
Okay, good.
This
And
is a
that-
little bit different
Yeah.
because they want to
Right.
put an addition on the property.
It's-
We still want to change it to a two-family dwelling.
Isn't this a semi-detached house? I was reading the definitions. This is something,
Is
I don't know if it
attached or-
changes the.
There's a breezeway, right?
Yeah, well, there's a breezeway, but everything is going to be all connected. And I believe that breezeway is going to be closed in, is that correct?
So it's attached.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's not two separate structures, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, I was just trying to see how it fit in the definitions in the zoning. It's not.
Well, I think that's a good,
Semi-detached house is a residential structure attached to but separated from one comparable unit by a party wall and having a separate entrance and space for front and rear yards.
What's the definition of?
Semi-detached house. I don't know, just.
What's the question, Ron?
It's, just to establish what we're looking at here, this is a whole new structure that's attached to the existing structure.
Can we
And
see
it-
if there's, sorry,
Yeah. That was,
can you see if there's anyone who has anything to add?
Give me a minute. The first, is 433, the paragraph that he quoted, pre-existing non-conforming structures or uses may be changed, extended, or altered. Pre-existing non-conforming structure, which it is, we know that, or use may be changed, extended, or altered. And you go down to D1, it says, with a finding from the zoning board of appeals that such change, extension, alteration will not substantially be more detrimental to this neighborhood than existing non-conforming structure or use when said change or extension or alteration will not extend any closer to any front, side, or rear property boundary other than current zoning allows or existing structure already extends and will not create any new violations. So it doesn't.
Correct.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
is this still considered a right when it's a pre-existing non-conforming structure? Does the person have a right to, or an owner have a right to do this without having, I mean, it certainly is a restricted right, it has to come before the board, if it is a right at all. I mean, it's just-
Right for what?
With the
The
finding.
applicant, the applicant has said it was the right, but I just was questioning.
it is a permitted use in the district.
It is a permitted use in the
permitted
district.
use.
Mhm. Correct.
Provided you come before the board and we decided that it's not worse, and you're not gonna make it worse than it was.
Which obviously we aren't, that's correct.
Do we have any public input?
Yes. Hi.
Your name, please?
Rodriguez, I live at 4 Mandy Way.
What was your
Butter.
name?
Rodriguez. I'm in a butter. I would think there's a significant difference between an in-law apartment and a two-family. Two families are generally for profit, and the in-law I would think, be an addition of a couple of rooms, not needing separate utility bills. This is going to have to bring in, right, all new utilities. What's your parking requirements for two-family? I would imagine it's about 5 cars, right, for 2 apartments, 5 cars. So that's going to interfere with the neighbors behind them. They're going to have to look at a parking lot now rather than a yard, I would imagine, because there's no place to put 5 cars if that's what the two-family requirements would be, right? What are your requirements for two-family?
I don't think, I think the requirements you're talking about are for multifamily dwellings, like an apartment.
Well, this would be two.
No,
No.
that doesn't come into play until you get over two. Two family
So they don't
don't have that
they don't
requirement,
have
no
parking
ma'am,
requirements?
no.
So this would be able to honor the footage between
They can't
houses?
change,
Where are they gonna put the cars?
well, they obviously must have a driveway now.
In the front of the house?
I don't know, it doesn't show, I can't
Well, I
tell.
would think that you'd wanna see that plan before you approve it. We just can't have parking lots wherever people feel like putting them. So anyway, generally, I would be opposed to this because the neighborhood was not designed for that. This is a single-family neighborhood, you know? I don't think it would add value to the neighborhood. I think it could become an epidemic all along that street. There are some houses in need of repair, that are in disrepair. It might become something that everybody on that street would want to do. So I think that should be taken into consideration as well.
Did you say you checked the area for two-family?
Yeah, you need 24,000 square feet.
No, how many are there now?
How many are there for the existing building? Well, it conforms.
No,
to-
how many two-family dwellings are in the area?
Oh,
That's what was on.
this, yeah, that's
That's
probably
what-
about
that's-
a half a dozen, maybe a little more than that.
On Douglas Street
No,
Unable to match these up.
or on
So
Emmanuel
here's the
Way?
house.
Yeah.
no, there's none on the
Where's
Manju
high
Way.
school road on
No.
this?
Once you get down to the Zodiac, maybe.
So the oranges are the two-family?
That's correct.
All right.
So
Where, how
it's
does,
just past that, the block of, right, see right where your industrial is, that's the Zodiac there, so look
Yeah.
past the
Oh.
Zodiac.
oh,
It's
it's
connected.
very far off.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't really, to be honest with you, consider that in the neighborhood. Just in terms of that being the argument.
So the question is, if it's a real
Because that,
need
that's
for
the
the
Zodiac, this
mother.
area is a different area.
Right.
This is a very different area of town than.
Yes, it
than
is.
this.
Yeah.
And the question is, if it's a need for the mother, why can't they just add on some rooms in the back? That would be good.
That's what they
exactly
intended
what
to
they're
do.
proposing.
That's what we're doing.
That's what it is.
But it's going to be called a two-family, so after this family
Well-
leaves, or if they decide to, it will now become rental property, which is not going to be good for that neighborhood. It's just not going to be.
That's correct.
Mhm.
That is entirely within the realm of possibility.
Right. Most likely.
We can't split the property down that finite.
Mhm.
If someone wants to put an addition on the house and call it an in-law apartment, they call it an in-law apartment, but it's still a non-conforming property. That's why they're here, all right? They can't get a building permit to put the addition on there for her, if this is the intent, until we agree that it is not more non-conforming than it is.
Well, it would be.
How so?
Well, you'd have more cars with not proper places. I don't believe there's any proper, where's the plan to put the vehicles? In the future, maybe not with mother, probably the mom doesn't drive, or maybe she does, but where would you put the cars? 4 of them, easily, 4 or 5 cars, where are you gonna put them? There is
I-
no place.
Well,
Those things have to be considered for the benefit of the community. And you just can't say, yeah, put a two-family in that. I'd like to do that too. You know. That's my opinion.
But does the zoning bylaw stipulate parking spaces for residences?
not in the two-family, no, not until we,
Yes,
huh?
doesn't it?
For two-family?
Of course it
No.
does. It
Dwelling,
should.
1, 2, and 3 family units and townhouses,
Yeah.
2 per unit.
Right. So you need 4 cars if you're gonna call it a two-family. There's no place to put them. Or at least we need to see the plan for them.
I agree.
Well, I would argue that this will be a third generation, this particular application will be a third generation use. That's their intent. I mean, when Douglas Drive was installed, his grandfather lived there, and now his parents live there, and now he's going to live there. So in terms of a for-profit, that's not the intent of what this submission is.
Right, but he gains the right to have a two-family.
Okay, I understand that. So with the submission that you had last week, that you converted an existing use into a two-family, did that parking issue come up?
That had been a two-family.
Oh, it had?
It had been converted but never permitted.
Right.
So that was
It's another different,
a real can of worms.
okay.
It existed.
Mhm.
The facilities,
They even had a mailing address, like a
Yeah,
legit,
separate
on
address.
the books
Wow.
mailing. It was very bizarre.
Now, in terms of this application, there's plenty of room for parking. Even if there are 2 parking spaces per unit, that's not out of the ordinary for any house.
It is if you have to change the lines. For example, the neighbor to the side of them and behind them will not have a parking lot. So don't we have 20 feet off the fence line that we have to have for parking?
Yeah, check it out,
Six
make
one?
sure that you're satisfied. The parking would
I-
also
I-
remove open
That's
space as
off
well.
street.
it's off-street parking, that's right.
Not in the driveway parking.
Excuse me, sir, I'd like to say something. That's awesome. I don't intend on putting another parking.
Who are you, sir?
I'm the homeowner, sir.
Your
Jason
name?
Welch. Jason Welch.
Okay.
I don't intend on putting any further parking, and you could probably fit 6 cars in my driveway. The reason why I'm seeking this is I would like to put an in-law apartment in, but I can't get an in-law apartment according to air laws. So that's why I'm seeking to make it a 2-family. For my mother to live in the addition behind me. Thanks, sir.
But still, when you convert to a 2-family, you have to have parking not behind each other. You can't have 4 cars in a lot. People need to get in and out. And you need to have so many footage off the property line. So many
Can I
feet
see
off the
that?
property line, you can't just impose on your neighbors like that. So that needs to be something that needs to be considered, or a plan has to be made for that.
This is in the driveway.
That's a good point.
This is
Off-street parking. So, I don't mean to throw it out, but what we're talking about right now is the driveway itself. This has nothing to do with driveway.
Right.
That's a good point, Carly. Right?
Parking has to be provided.
Well,
Is that the issue? Whether or not it's
Well-
off-street or... All right, let me see.
No, I'm taking a look. But
With all due respect, what Jason said is the existing parking lot is large, the parking lot, the driveway as it exists now is large enough to accommodate at least 4 cars. And in terms of tenants, if you want to use that term, coming in and out, well, that would be the issue on any driveway. I don't think 4 cars is out of the realm of being in a driveway of anybody's house. Like I said, if this addition was contained within the existing footprint, it's a by right, and that issue wouldn't come up.
that's true. That's absolutely true.
Right.
The only thing that would come up was the change from a single family to a 2-family.
That's correct.
If this addition didn't have to be permitted, it wouldn't even come up. The fact that they want to put a addition on the non-conforming building is why it's what's generated everything.
If the property were already conforming.
No, actually, if they were gonna just, if the addition was already there and they were gonna change it to a 2-family, the question of parking wouldn't even come up.
And in the use regulations, there's nothing for, there's off-street parking in A2 residence, but again, driveway,
Yeah, I know.
so.
Don't you need to see a plan in order to approve that, this, how it affects all the neighbors? You don't ask.
No, ma'am. That's not our mandate. We review, when someone comes in to make a change to something that's not conforming in town, this is zoning board of appeals. That means they've already gone through the process and it's come to appeals here. They've appealed a decision someplace. In this case, the decision of the building inspector not to give them a permit because it was a non-conforming property.
I see.
We don't have the purview so to speak, of reviewing site plans or even dictating what they're going to have for building in that area. We take this, their layout, and say, okay, what is it going to do? Is it going to make it more non-conforming or less? Is it going to adversely affect the building footprint? What is it going to do to that property? The homeowner, basically, it's his property. Within reason, he can pretty much do what he'd like to with it, but when it starts to affect the zoning bylaws, and when they ask for a permit to do something, if they don't meet the requirements for it, they end up at this table. That's why they're here.
I understand. It's a significant change for the neighborhood.
Right. I'd like to say something else. So, my name is Bridget Olivier, and I live at 2 Mandry Way. I'm right on the corner of the street. And this is a single-family neighborhood. To my way of thinking, changing this is a slippery slope. It's just a matter of time before others start to do this and change the whole face of the neighborhood. With all due respect to Mr. Welch, he's here today with a plan, but 5 years from now, we don't know if he's going to be there anymore. We don't know if it's all of a sudden going to be a two-family, and I'm still going to be there. So, it's great that he wants to do what he wants to do today, but there's no guarantee that that's what's going to be in existence 5 years from now.
That's correct. That's absolutely correct.
Sir, excuse me. Just like in 5 years, you can say that you may not be there. I don't know that. I'm not moving. I've been here since I was born. I'm staying here. That's the way I feel about it. That's the way my mother feels about it. And that's how it's going to be.
My issue's still with the two-family. I mean, if he was adding a room or two, that would be one thing, but it's going to be a two-family room, a two-family home. There's no getting away from that.
It's
Sorry.
it's not a two-family home. It would be a two-family property. The addition to the home would be the in-law, the mother-in-law, or second family apartment, yes. Is it tied to the main structure in any way other than a breezeway? Do you have the same utilities? You have the same? You have
Mind if I show you?
Absolutely.
great.
Show me a drawing.
Well, that was coming to my next question is, what made the decision to make it a separate structure rather than an addition to the home?
I guess the answer to the question is this. And it was the only real spot on the property where I could fit it.
Okay.
I'm Mark
Were
Lonigan,
you-
general contractor, I'm sorry. Now, the other thing that is available to the town is there's enough area where this property is right here that he could put up a whole separate structure. He has a second building lot here that goes away once he does this. So the impact of this is really much less than what could happen back here with a whole nother
So we own two
residence.
lots?
There's 2 lots here.
Well, he's got enough frontage and area for 2 lots. The lot was created as one.
Mm-hmm.
Once
And-
this happens, it goes away.
Right,
He doesn't have the area for that.
right,
So you're saying
because,
he could build a separate
He
home?
could build a whole separate home there if he
Correct.
wanted to.
with a
and-
separate
Without
entrance,
coming in front of the
right.
exit?
The reasoning for that is if it's considered a two-family, you need 24,000 square
He
feet.
can't do
So, once he does this in-law, then that'll,
And
That
he
that ate up
understands
the.
right in the
right.
future, he won't
that.
be
He
able to do
understands
it.
that That lot goes away once he does this.
That's correct.
So
So-
why is this a
So-
better
So-
option than the two?
Back to my original question.
Okay.
Back to my original question. Are the utilities tied into this house? Are the water,
Everything
sewage?
is coming from the existing structure into the addition.
So everything,
Sewage, water, and electric are all coming from here,
it's nothing separate.
nothing separate. We're not cutting the street for anything.
Existing main house.
This is the main
For all-
house.
so for all
Breezeway.
intents and purposes.
There's a 2-car garage here with a driveway that's 80 feet from Groton School Road to the face of the garage
Yeah,
So how do you enter into there?
through the breezeway.
breezeway right there.
Like a breezeway.
And there'll be a second egress over here.
So it could easily
So-
become a rental property.
Mudroom.
Just a, okay.
Yes.
You walk right straight through.
It's gonna have walls, it's gonna have a roof.
Yep, yep.
It's not one of those.
But it exists now already. It's just,
It's
that's gonna,
existing there now.
So because everything is all tied to the existing utilities, for all intent and purposes, you could go up instead of out for the same structure. You just wouldn't change the footprint. So this
Right.
is what's changing the footprint. And in response to your thoughts about how it could slide into other
Rental property.
rental properties, not until it hits this table. No.
Yeah, there's no guarantee that.
No, there's absolutely no guarantees, but if I look at the density, I mean, this is not the first
That's not our
one.
neighborhood.
I know that.
but it's
Here's
a
your
district.
neighborhood, and there's not but one
Right.
potential. You have one down here, but that's it. So I kind of don't agree with that theory. Whether or not it's, if one comes in, then everybody else is gonna do it. I don't,
You have to know the houses on the street, they're in disrepair. So
I don't know.
It
Well,
also
we're
opens
telling
the
you,
door.
so it's brilliant if they come in and say, well, I'd love to do a two-family, it'd be great, buy it for a single-family price and let's convert it to two-family and somebody's gonna make money on that. It's a
It's-
great idea.
It's really not that easy. You know, buying a house and flipping it to a two-family, it's really not that easy.
I'm in the real estate business, it's not that difficult.
I'd make the argument too that there's, since you only need 12,000 square feet for a building lot in that neighborhood, you can't do a two-family on one of those lots because you need 24,000.
We're not
So,
in the neighborhood on Groton School Road, coming down, all the houses that lead up to that house,
are all small.
they're all small and a lot of them are in disrepair.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Sure. Mandria Way was created for, I think Meyer Company did it back in the early 90s. And each one of those lots have 12,000 square feet or in excess of 12,000. So there's an existing single-family dwelling on that lot. For that lot, for that building to be converted to a two-family, well, they can't do it because you need 24,000 square feet. So the bylaw is kind of written to kind of keep some kind of density control over the lot, so you don't have these two families popping up on smaller lots. And obviously, this lot is 26,000, which is in excess of the 24 required for a two-family, so it meets
Is that current code, 24,000?
for two-family, yeah.
That's very small.
Well, 12,000 is half of the size.
12,000 small, 24,000 not that small.
Those are very old days when people didn't have cars.
Yeah, it's 44 for
Cars were
neighborhood.
10 and 12,000 square feet,
just
no
over.
vehicles. That doesn't go on anymore.
Well, your law was created in the 90s.
Well, I'm talking about 10 and 12,000, that's way back.
Well, it's still in effect today.
Probably grandfathered.
Do you feel like this is a better option for the property
No.
than him splitting it and building another single family behind it?
I know, I don't think,
And there are two single-family homes.
yeah, that's a better option.
Better option.
You're saying you could take this lot and make two single-family homes on
Mhm.
Mhm.
it? By
Why is
by
that
demolishing the
better?
house
No.
maybe?
No.
Better for the
It's
neighborhood.
better for the
For
neighborhood.
single.
To have two
family.
single-family homes?
Well, why would
It
you
sounds
rent it
like
to
a
have
threat.
rental?
I'm asking.
Well, I'm not saying it is.
Rentals don't take, generally, in my experience, they don't take as much pride in home ownership because they're not invested in the property. That's common sense.
I think I've invested enough time to have an investment in the property.
Yes, you probably do. But, you know, I mean, certainly renters don't take as much pride in their home ownership. Why do they? They don't own the home. So it tends to, they're not homeowners. Doesn't
All right.
that's, I would imagine, a common understanding, the difference between private property and rental property.
We have two things on the table. A finding for allowing the addition to, let's do it this way first. Let's look at the variance from a single family to a two-family dwelling. We can look at it that way, or we can look at it as a finding for a building permit to the non-conforming lot, whichever way you'd like to do it, one way or the other. Let's move this one way or another.
There are two things that we have to vote on, or?
Yes. One thing is, we have to have a variance converting single family to two family. The other is a finding allowing a building permit to be issued to a non-conforming structure,
Pre-existing non-conforming.
pre-existing non-conforming. So there's two things on the table. Anybody got a motion? One at a time or both together, however you want to do it. Ron,
Well, what's the
Michael?
preferred way? Do you guys want to do this one at a time, or?
do it one at a time, that's fine with me.
Okay.
What are the guidelines we look at as far as modification to a pre-existing non-conforming structure?
I think that's 4.3.3
That's,
D1,
yeah,
right?
that's what I had read, John. It says that as long as it is not made more
sure.
non-conforming.
Okay, so we really don't have an issue there.
No, it says,
Okay, so we're looking.
finding with the zoning board of appeals that such change, extension, or alteration will not be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood than the existing non-conforming structure and/or use when said change or alteration or extension. And it specifically says, will not extend any closer to any front, side, or rear property boundary other than the current zoning allows, or existing structure already extends and will not create any new violation or other zoning provisions.
Okay, so if we look at these items separately, then that one is pretty cut and dry.
It's cut and dry.
No,
Get it?
not unless you think that it is substantially more detrimental.
Well, it's not substantially more detrimental to the zoning laws because it meets the setbacks.
Exactly.
And that's the only thing we can base it on.
And if that's
No,
our
because the
scope.
sentence is and/or. That's not how I read this.
Existing non-conforming
Or,
structure
Because
and
the or says that
or
it
use.
can be these things, or it cannot be these things. It can, by itself, just be substantially more detrimental, and we can define that however we choose to define that.
Okay.
If it didn't have the and/or, then that would be different.
So we substituted that for
Right, it's
Any
either that,
qualitative
It's-
idea about what.
right, it's either that,
Detrimental.
right, and not those,
No.
or it's
No.
that and those. So I don't think that that is cut and dry. I think that's the sticking point one. I think that's the challenging one that we have here. Because we have two people from the neighborhood that are saying, this is more detrimental to our neighborhood.
But I think the homeowner would say, I mean, and again, I'm just sort of giving my 2 cents. It may be seen as more detrimental by some of the neighbors, but he's moving his, again, according to the homeowner, his mother in there.
Sure.
And your objection as neighborhood residents, is the potential for future rental properties? Is that what I understand?
No, it's going to overwhelm the lot.
That's what I understood you to say.
Yes, that as well, but it's going to overwhelm the lot. We're going to have more cars there. It's just not going to be a pretty sight.
The parking isn't gonna change. 'cause
I
Mrs.
understood
Wel-
your argument
Mrs.
to be
Welch
that
lives there
in the
now.
future,
Yes,
this
and
could
also-
be a
yes,
rental
also,
property.
Also, yes.
And this board should
Okay.
consider what that, how this conveys to the,
I agree
to
with
the
you.
generation, so that,
Right.
that should figure in our
Would-
decision.
But by that argument,
Because
he's been in
frankly,
that home for 3 generations.
Well, fine, but
Great,
that's
but
good.
that doesn't mean
I
you can't
you
move.
could-
I mean,
With
that
all
is
due,
really-
with all due respect, you're you're making a decision on the application today, not 10 or 15 years down the road. And in terms of the density, the lot coverage, we're well under the minimum or the maximum lot coverage. I mean, the maximum lot coverage in that district is 25%. With this addition, we're going to be, I don't have the plans on up there, but I think it's under 10. So in terms of overwhelming the lot, it's not even close to meeting the standards that the town has. So yeah, the building coverage, the proposed building coverage is 9.8%. You're allowed 25 in that district. So we're less than half of the density of that lot. We're proposing half of the density of that lot.
We are voting on what you're proposing today, but
I
we would be
understand.
negligent to not look towards the future of what the town is going to be.
Well, excuse me, I'm sorry, but wouldn't that come with future hearings if somebody brought this forward to you again? That would be where you would take that precedent and apply it, as opposed to today when I'm applying for it.
No,
No.
once we make a decision, it's cast in stone, so to speak.
Right.
Right.
Henceforth the discussion. All right, right back where we started from. You want to do it one at a time or together? How are we going to do it?
No, I don't know that I'm clear on, I don't know that I don't have to make a decision.
I agree that this is the more cut and dry of the two.
Well,
The next step.
As I
We have to
interpret
talk
this, I
about
mean, it's
this.
obviously an interpretation.
Right.
And I understand your sticking point where it says either or. But it says either or use. Existing non-conforming structure and or use. So if I read that, my interpretation is different than your interpretation, obviously. So I see that we could issue a finding because it doesn't change the setbacks. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't make it more non-conforming. It complies with that paragraph. And I tend to agree with the paragraph.
Likewise.
We agree with your interpretation.
Yes.
We agree with that.
Yes, I agree with it. I think that what they've asked for, the finding they asked for, complies with the paragraph. I don't disagree with it. It is.
Can I just ask one more question? That paragraph that you're referring to says it's not going to change existing setbacks. I'm still hung up on the cars. So where are they going?
We can't.
Because
We
that's
can't
going
do
to
that. We
change-
can't.
That's going to change things.
No, I'm sorry, but we don't have that authority. We don't have that
How can you?
direction.
Because you could have a single-family home and park 12 cars there. That's, I mean,
We don't have that.
We're not
don't
in
you
charge
have
of-
setbacks, like so many feet off the
Absolutely.
fences?
yeah.
But if the plan, the
And
only
they
place
meet
the
it.
cars fit are on top of the fence, doesn't
That's
that violate?
that has nothing to do
Then
with.
how can you possibly determine if it's going to change anything?
It's not going to change, we're not in charge of determining parking and where people want to put vehicles, I guess,
Well,
if
it
that
seems to
makes
me
it
that
more
should be
clear.
part of the decision tonight, when you look at that plan, there's a parking plan and it's not imposing on anything.
There's no parking plan for
But there's no
anyone's
parking,
residence.
right, for anyone's home. Like, you could park 12 cars, right, I mean,
You don't have setback rules?
no.
Yes, we have setback rules for the buildings, for the
property.
structures.
But
Yeah.
not for the parking lots?
No,
Oh,
Not for
No.
driveways, for a
Oh.
parking lot
So not
downtown,
for
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
paved parking
Oh.
lot,
Yeah.
yeah.
but not for residents,
No.
your
You
driveway.
could fill your back grassy yard with cars if you wanted
As
to,
long as they're
that's probably
registered.
something
as
that
long as
should
they're
be thought
registered.
about.
I was just thinking that.
That should probably be thought about. I
Yeah,
wouldn't want to buy a house and have somebody park,
Sure.
tar up to my fence, or.
If
we
that's
have new
something-
zoning bylaws that are
Right.
going to come up to the town meeting, so that might be a
Yeah.
topic of discussion at that
Right.
point.
Yeah.
The resident
And if that
has
is
a point, though.
something
If it
of interest.
becomes a parking lot, then that takes
Right.
away from the free space.
Right.
I don't think that is effective here.
It's nothing,
But
that's right, and that's what the
So-
fellow upstairs would have to recognize, the
Well,
building inspector. I mean, if you got more than
true.
a
but-
couple of cars in your
Right.
parking lot, it's gonna raise some eyebrows, somebody's gonna start asking questions about it.
But then it's too late.
No. It's never too late.
If you have a two-family and you have to put the car somewhere, too late.
There are single-family homes in town that,
yeah,
Out on the street.
counting cars, I think, is,
it's, you can't do it.
right. No, and just not based on the decision that we have to make.
No, right.
again, that's,
I have like 5 cars in a single-family home
Right.
myself.
There has to be space for so many cars by our regulation.
We,
You have
the
to
only
provide
time,
off.
the only time that came into effect is when it's a multifamily dwelling, and at that point, because we went through this with the fire station, remember? We actually stipulated what we wanted for parking spaces there.
So because of parking spaces, we had to consider that and give them a pass on the amount of parking. Because
we
we
did not.
recognize that a
No,
certain
we
amount of
actually
parking-
stipulated they had to have a minimum of 10 spaces for 4 apartments.
4 to 6.
Yeah, remember, you were here, weren't
No,
you?
it was
Yeah,
not that
yeah.
big.
Right.
Yeah,
All
so
right,
we
all right,
actually
maybe it
stipulated,
wasn't-
but that was an apartment house. It's not a 2-family home.
And the district is different.
That's correct, it's downtown district.
That was probably site plan too, right?
They'll go, they haven't gone yet, they
Yeah.
will go.
So, let's do this again. Somebody make a motion, one way or another.
I mean, does everybody feel comfortable at this point that they can make a decision on both of
Take
these
a vote
items?
on it anyways, whether it's,
Okay. I motion to approve the finding for the addition of the pre-existing non-conforming structure.
second? We haven't gotten to the variance.
Stipulate the finding on,
You said fine.
or should we stipulate what's behind in the finding? That it's it's not any, just use the language of paragraph D1? Or just reference paragraph D1?
Yeah.
Move the finding based on this 4.3.3.B.
All right, so there it is.
That's exactly what it says. Motion's on the floor.
Second motion.
Second, motion's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Krista? Ron?
I said I on the first motion.
John?
First.
4-1, carries. Now, the second is a variance allowing the conversion from a single family to a 2-family. And that is according with 3312C.
No,
3312C.
Oh, I'm
No.
sorry.
3312C.
Is that okay? All right, I see how this is working.
3312.
Page 24, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, 3312. C.
3312C, okay. This is an A2 property, permitted uses, detached single-family dwellings, accommodation up to 4 room or boarders, not members of the resident family, conversion of a single-family dwelling to a 2-family dwelling. Let me read the rest of it. So the variance is to change from a single family to a 2-family dwelling. Michael?
I mean, go ahead, Carly.
I just have a question, if it's permitted,
Why
why
do
do
we
we
have
need
to-
it?
So what was my original question?
Sorry.
Because it's a
change in use.
The building
Change
inspectors,
of use, so we have to.
So we have to convert it, I suppose.
That's what he
It
said.
was like, are we?
The building inspector told us that it was a
Chicken, the
change of
egg.
use, therefore it had to get a variance to go from single family to 2-family.
Well, he said you'd have to obtain appropriate zoning relief.
Right.
He doesn't really specify.
right.
And sometimes I found with Gabe, he kind of throws in both just to cover it.
Well, if it's a permitted use, I'm kind of curious.
You don't need it.
I think the problem with Gabe and the permitted use was Gabe's interpretation of the bylaw was that as long as that two-family was constructed within the footprint of the existing house, that's where his confusion was with the wording on it. He didn't want to say, yeah, you can go ahead and make this a two-family by adding this on to the back. Because his reading of it was that it didn't require a variance if it was within the same structure. If you added to the structure, that's where he thought the only contention was.
Okay, got it.
I hope I didn't make it worse.
No, that
No.
cleared it up.
That's what his decision says. It's
That's exactly what.
Right.
exactly right.
From
Yeah, because we got the
I got
letter.
a letter from him.
But it says it's a permitted use, so.
It's permitted use.
Okay,
but
but
the
this is
finding
what's
needs
weird
to
for
be
me.
on this.
He was looking for interpretation.
Yeah.
A pre-existing non-conforming structure
would
use
be-
may be changed, extended, or altered as of right when said use, extension, or alteration conforms in all respects to the present zoning.
Yeah,
Which it does.
And
which
it's,
it does.
that's why it's still.
And the footprint issue would be under the finding, not a variance, right?
Right.
We gave them the variance.
And it's,
fine.
A
Finding.
I'm sorry, finding, yes.
Right.
Because it didn't make it more non-conforming.
All right.
So I don't see a
this is confusing
requirement.
to me why
I don't see a
right.
requirement for variation because it's a permitted use.
Permitted.
Right.
That being the case, should we?
No.
I don't know what we do with that.
I think all he was looking from you guys was an interpretation.
I think he'll be okay with the
But-
finding myself, dealing with them every
Yeah.
day.
Well,
He does usually throw in both.
he says the
just in
property
case.
located on A2 zoning district, section 3312C, and that's exactly what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Use regulation states a conversion of a single-family dwelling to a two-family dwelling. It has been interpreted over the years, this would mean that the apartment must be developed within the existing building. Since your proposal requires additional construction to develop the apartment, I do not find your proposed project as submitted meets the bylaws, therefore it cannot be permitted. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all.
Well, now that we've granted the variance
Fine.
to make it within the structure, then that really doesn't apply.
It does not apply, that's correct. So I do not see the need for a variance.
We still have to act on a variance, though.
What, act on what?
We have to act on the variance to change this to a two-family.
It's a permitted use.
But not automatically unless
It's
it's,
a permitted
That is-
use.
it's not,
It's already a pre-existing.
it still has to, this board still has to declare that it's okay to use a permitted use because it's a non-conforming
No,
structure.
no. We gave them a variance.
A finding.
As of right,
Thank you.
I know.
as of right,
Sorry.
I think.
We gave a finding that the additional structure they were putting in there was not going to make it more non-conforming. All right.
Yes, that was a finding.
That was a finding. Now, the second part of the application was for a variance to convert it from one family to two family. And we don't have to do that, because this paragraph, this definitions and references right here for A2 says it's a permitted use. You can do it.
Yes, when
So-
there's no, when it's a, I take that to mean only when it's a conforming structure.
We made it a conforming structure when we gave them a finding.
It still will always be a non-conforming structure,
Yes.
no matter what. We couldn't change that.
We can't, that's right, unless they
Right,
move the
so
building,
now
we
we
can't
need
change it.
to, now we need to go with a finding.
A variance.
Variance.
A finding may be more appropriate, but he suggested a variance.
It's a variance, there's no harm in doing a variance. It's advertised, it's not like you're acting on something that hasn't been advertised. If that's what he said, I would go with it, but you've already made the finding, but Ron's right, it's still a non-conforming structure.
I know, I feel like the bylaw reads that it's a right to just change it.
It says
It
it's
is.
a permitted use. They can do it.
Yeah, and.
Without
that's
even
the thing.
asking,
You don't
really.
have to ask,
That's how we
Correct.
felt.
you just do it,
That's correct.
because it's already
We wouldn't-
non-conforming.
We wouldn't, but that's how we felt too.
Yeah,
We would go ask before we did something like that, but,
but I don't mind saying that I don't mind voting by saying like, we feel that this doesn't need a variance, that it is, they came before us
That'd
and,
be another finding then?
That would be
Yeah, we
another
could do
finding.
another finding.
Why don't we do that?
and that
How about
we
that?
just
Right.
find that it's a right of use.
Is that all right with you, Ron? How do you feel about that?
No, I was gonna vote negative on the finding.
It's your
I'm
prerogative.
telling you. So I
Okay.
don't.
You don't what?
I don't see that it's not substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood. And so forth, paragraph 4.3.4B. But you can,
Which was for the last.
you can disagree.
We already,
But
that's history. We're done with that.
No, we.
Yes.
We went, the way, all right, the way I see it, we had a finding to determine that the change itself was not, did not make the lot any more conforming. Now we're looking at the use, and we need they don't have a right still. They still don't have a right, only without the passing of this board. I do see it definitely as a two-step process, but.
Now,
Well, we've done the first step. We've had a finding that gave them the addition on the back of that house,
Right,
okay?
right.
Now.
We allowed them to change the structure.
We allowed them
said
to
that
change the
We
structure.
found that the structure was not going to be more non-conforming.
That's absolutely correct, so that's
Now we're
done.
talking about use.
Now we're talking about use, which is over in a different section of the book, that's in
Right.
3312.
Right, and
Okay?
that applies to
And it says,
conforming lots.
No,
no, it doesn't.
no.
No,
It
it's
doesn't.
permitted uses. This is what, for the general purpose and description of a residential,
It says that
A2.
a permitted use is a conversion of a single to a two-family.
so they can do that, they don't even have to ask.
In A2, right.
But he's saying because it's already non-conforming, you need a variance. That's what he's trying to say. I don't know what trumps the other. I don't
Right,
think
this
there's-
is the problem with this case, is that this is the chicken or the egg case.
Right, so you can grant a variance, or you can do two findings.
I mean, if we were to do another finding, what would be the proper wording? Just so we're clear.
I haven't got a clue. They applied for a variance, let's do a variance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would it be simple just to say that you agree with the permitted use of the conversion of a single family to a two-family?
I think Gabe would be fine with that, honestly.
Something as simple as that?
because I think that's the interpretation. He was looking for somebody to get.
As always.
And that would be a finding.
Yeah, that would be a finding. And I'm confident you would be fine with that. And again, it's more me getting from Gabe exact, not just finding variance, but a permit, whatever.
I
We
think
gotta-
as long as we had the board's blessing, he would be fine.
I agree, 100%.
I'm not gonna try to make it up. I'm gonna-
Yeah, I'm just searching for the correct wording here. I just want to make sure that I'm clear so Gabe understands what the board feels.
I would suggest you find that per 3.3.1.2C, the conversion from a single to a family is an allowed use.
Okay.
Done. Is that a motion?
Yeah.
Did you say that, Michael?
Yeah.
Yes, all right.
So moved.
I motion that we approve a finding that the, as of, or by 3.3.1.2.c, that the conversion of a single-family dwelling to a two-family dwelling has our blessing,
Permitted.
is permitted, and an allowed use.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
4-1.
Okay.
There.
So with two findings, we don't have a 20-day window or anything, so I'm gonna just write this up. There's
We can
no,
move forward.
yeah, and I'll talk to, Gabe's not in tomorrow, he's at the
Right.
conference, Charlie's in, but, yeah,
I'll wait
there's
to
no.
talk to Gabe on Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly, so I'll talk to him too, but there's no like 20-day appeal because we didn't issue a variance. The two findings, those are just board actions, so you're good.
Nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your
Sorry
time
for
and
confusing
your
everybody.
patience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No charge for the education. Yeah, thank you.
Actually, you can keep. Do you want any of this?
No,
Okay.
I'm good.
We're all
Thank you.
set.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Make a motion to close that hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Done, closed. Next item. Zoning bylaw update. Did anybody else get the side-by-side comparison that Jeremy sent out
I
for the
sent
zoning
it.
bylaws? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'd send it to everyone.
Everyone has it, okay?
Yes.
Now, just as I started going through it, and if you don't sleep well, read it, okay?
Pretty dry.
Pretty dry.
Okay.
I've read code books that were more interesting.
Oh, God.
Point being is that I understand that the planning board has, or is in the process of subcontracting a consultant to update and upgrade our bylaws before.
Facilitator.
A facilitator? I
Yes.
see, okay.
No, that's different, that's comprehensive.
That's
plan.
comprehensive.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah, wrong word,
wrong board.
wrong word. So I understand that they're going through the process of doing that, so I'm not really sure if us going through current zoning bylaws is productive. Now, I read through them, I try to do it before we have our meetings, make sure I'm going in the right direction. But to do a side-by-side comparison that was done for something that's 5 years old, do we wait until the consulting firm has the new bylaws out and we go through them together? Or do we go through these? There is a standing invitation for all of us, any and all of us, to attend the next planning board meeting. Is that correct?
So they're gonna be doing a workshop prior to their planning board meeting. They meet the first Thursdays of the month, so what's that, November 5th? The consultant is gonna be here at 6 to start the process. The planning board, as you know, is charged with writing the zoning bylaws. That is their main charge. So they have a consultant coming on board to take the 2011 stuff and update it even further to now, go through it again. They've invited the zoning board at my request.
Thank
So
you.
basically, I would caution maybe 2 members max, because then you get into open meeting violations. Jeremy's already gonna be there as planning, but we would just have to post. If more than 2 of you show up, we'd have to post it as an open meeting.
That's-
Because, not that you're formally deliberating, but for open meeting law purposes, you'd have to post it. I won't be at that one, but Sam, I think you have some interest in going if you're around, obviously.
When did you say it was?
November 5th?
That's
I'll be,
Thursday.
yeah, next
Yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah.
I'll be here.
Okay.
No,
2 Thursdays.
2 Thursdays. Yeah,
You'll be around, or,
pretty sure,
okay.
pretty sure. I will. But yeah, I want to hear.
Yeah, agreed, and, but that's just kicking off the process, so basically, at the same time, like John is now on the comprehensive plan, everything from our last 10-year plan says you need to update your zoning bylaws. Like 90% of it, it never got done. So at the same time we're moving on this comprehensive plan, the planning board wants to update the zoning bylaws, which we can all, there's some wonky.
There's some
This whole
loopholes.
thing is wonky. I would
Yeah.
love our bylaws to say when something like this, like, happens, because this happens, like, we're getting these non-conforming structures constantly.
Well, a lot of
Like,
care is
this
not.
is what
Right.
should be, right. This is like the step-by-step, you should vote on this first, or this
Right.
second, or this this is the thing that trumps all. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I know what you
some
mean.
kind of
Order.
order nesting that we can,
So I think that having someone from the zoning board at these workshops with the planning board
yeah.
will be valuable, so you can weigh in on, hey, we're sitting here trying to defend or, you know, be the appellate board on this law. This is what we see, and this is what we'd like to see.
I want to hear what their mandate are to the people who are going to do this. What's the planning board going to tell them to do? What's their direction? That's why I want to go to the first one. I want to hear what the kickoff is.
Yeah, and so what will happen to change your zoning bylaw? It's not just a simple planning board takes a vote. I mean, you need to have
You gotta
public
go to the
hearings.
town meeting.
They have to go do it.
Yeah.
I mean, the planning board has expressed that they want to do a separate special town meeting in the spring, because as we all know, it's dry and it's a lot of material. So to slap it on an annual town meeting warrant with already 40 articles,
Ain't gonna
it's
fly.
not gonna happen. So it'd probably be a separate meeting, which I think we all want to see them updated, right?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, we do.
they're pretty wonky, but,
Yeah, we have so much of it is discussing just interpretation.
so if we could have, maybe designate Sam to be the point person for that, and if you can't attend, we can have, so definitely everyone's welcome, but if there's more than 2 of you, and Jeremy technically is already gonna be there, so,
Oh, he's an alternate, so that doesn't count.
yeah, I guess you're right. So what we need to do
And
is.
he's there in his official capacity as planning board
Planning,
chair.
right. So, but we just, if 2 of you go, it's fine. If 3 of you go, I gotta post the meeting 48 hours in advance, so I'm gonna need to know.
I can tell you Thursdays,
No go?
no go for me.
Okay.
I won't be able to attend.
Okay.
All right.
And like I said,
Ron, you're up. Want to go?
Jeopardy will be on.
Don't tell him that.
but I think where we have this as a standing item on our agenda, that's an opportunity for you to brief everyone at this table.
Absolutely.
Great.
You're welcome to go, John, if you like.
He's chomping at the bit.
I see that.
I don't know if I'm available, so I don't want to commit, so I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
I will go on the 5th, absolutely.
And plus, John, you'll be getting it on comprehensive plan as well,
Okay.
because it's all moving forward at the same time, just on different paths, like everything.
It's
Is there a
just
briefing
kind
on
of,
that?
it's just kind of like,
On
They got-
the zoning by, yeah, because that's the comprehensive plan. The last one said you need to update it, and they didn't do it, it failed at town meeting.
Well, I think that was more presentation than anything
Right,
else.
so what we want to do.
It wasn't the fact that the people didn't want the updated bylaws, they
Right, so,
just didn't like it getting shoved down their throat, I think.
so comprehensive plan, that's going to be, you know, part of it. Part of the charge of the comprehensive plan committee is why didn't any of this stuff get done? And 90% of it is because the zoning bylaw was never changed. So it all is in the same vein, it's just moving kind of all at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
November 5.
November
8?
5,
5, yeah.
November 5th at 6. So they'll do a like a workshop, which is a working meeting, which you still have to post, but then they'll do their formal planning board meeting at 7.
So it's only an hour.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. When's our next meeting, the 18th?
So our next meeting is I think I have it on the bottom of the agenda, November 18th, but so far I have no public hearing requests, and they need to get them in by Monday to make it to that agenda for the posting requirements. So if we don't have any, do you want to not meet, or do you want to still meet? Or
If
what-
we don't have anything on the agenda, I don't see a reason to meet.
Right.
Any of you people?
Yeah.
John?
unless you bring cards.
Money.
Yes.
If we don't have, like I told you last summer, when we had nothing on the agenda,
On July, right?
Right.
So the only thing is if it's, once we receive it and I stamp in the application, you know, those town clerk stamp, we have 65 days to act, open the hearing. So technically,
wait a minute. So in order for something to hit the November 18th meeting, it has to be in your office by this coming Monday?
yes, because it has to be in the newspaper 2 weeks ahead of time. It has to be in the paper for 2 weeks before the hearing, at least 2 weeks. The paper comes out on a Friday.
Right.
So we have to have it in the Monday of that Friday week. So that's almost a 3-week window to get it in for November. If we do get something, and I would be in contact with you as chairman, we can run it in the, as long as we have 2 weeks, we can run it in the Lowell Sun. But the past practice of the board has been to use the Public Spirit, but we can use
Oh, which is no
The Neshoba
longer-
Voice, right?
Yeah.
the Neshoba Valley Voice. So we can run
Just
it
made to see
in
that.
the Lowell Sun. It's like twice as expensive. The applicant pays for it, but usually I kind of can get a sense.
People
'cause-
aren't looking for it in the little sun though, are they?
No, but abutters get notified, that's why you have to mail to the abutters as well. So technically, legally, we could put everything in the Lowell Sun as a courtesy, and as past practice, the town uses the local paper, because that's what the majority of the folks read.
Right.
So if we don't get anything by Monday,
Yeah.
but the drop, I mean, you have to have it in the paper at least 2 weeks before, so that would put us at November 7th. And to get it in the paper for November 7th, I'd have to have it by November 5th, because you need a day for them to queue it up to print. So, I mean, you're cutting it close, but I'll keep in contact with you if we do get anything, if we don't.
If we don't get anything,
Agreed.
Then we can just do the minutes.
But if we do get something, we probably should, that way if something comes after that, we don't end up with 3 things for
Right.
one night.
And then a meeting that goes till 11.
So, if there's something to do, my preference is that we do it before we let it pile up and try to do too much.
oh, absolutely, but if nothing hits the door by
Exactly,
Monday.
exactly.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, and plus, if something came in on the 5th last minute, we could still say, we're not meeting, as long as we do it-
You're getting to the end of the construction part of the
Yeah,
season
exactly.
anyway. I mean,
It's typically
there's not gonna be a
slower.
lot going through the winter.
And, what was I gonna say? So we still have 65 days. So
Well,
we
then let's
could,
just plan on not being here next month then, if that's the case.
let's wait till Monday just in case.
Yep.
Because something might come through the door tomorrow or Friday
That's true.
or Monday.
On Monday.
Yeah,
All right.
so I'll be in touch though.
All right,
I make a move to adjourn.
Minutes.
I motion to approve the meeting minutes. Did anybody have any?
From what I sent you, Ron asked to take out one sentence, and again, this is how we do it on selectmen, we just verbally update.
I thought we did that at the beginning.
when we approve the agenda.
Ah, the agenda.
So on, page 2,
Yep,
halfway down, R. D. Filippo, how do you say your last name, Ron?
That's good.
D. Filippo?
Yeah.
I had a high school principal with that last name. Stated that it seems to be unfortunate. He asked me to strike that, which I did, in the official minutes.
all right.
So I have a copy of those somewhere. For signature, if you approve them.
I make a motion to approve the minutes dated
September 16th.
September 16, 2015,
As amended.
as amended.
From the first time you saw him, yeah.
Somebody needs a second.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sign them, Krista.
I don't sign.
I'm gonna get it for you,
Official
they're on my
pen.
desk. So we can adjourn and then you come see me.
All right, now, John.
No. No. Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.